Hey, 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 hey. Say hello to Fuchsia. What's up, guys? And welcome back to Busybody Headquarters 2.0. Alright, so today we're going to be talking about the bookish icks that we all cringe a little at, or a lot. So let's talk about our hates and a little bit about our loves. Alright, so first I'm going to start with the loves, just to get my heart pumping. Okay, I'm just messing with y'all. So lean into the tropes here, and let's talk about top 5 favorite tropes first. So number 1, enemies to lovers. I'm a sucker for this. Like, oh my gosh, I don't know what it is about the hate to love thing that just completely gets me discombobulated, but it works. Let's just say that. Okay. A good example of this is the Bullied series by Vera Hollins. I will never stop raving about this series. I am still in love with this series today, and the best part about it is I've actually gotten a chance to talk to this author. It wasn't face to face or on camera. It was like online chatting back and forth, because I have her on Facebook and on Instagram. So in one instance, I won a free signed copy from her of the first book from the Bullied series. Yay! And on another instance, we just chatted back and forth about the book, and I just told her how much I loved her books and her writing in general. So that was amazing and one of the highlights of my life. Okay, so let's move on. I'm getting too excited here. Alright, so number 2. I love single parent romances as well. You know, when they find love and they build their own little family off of the family that they initially started. I just love that, because you know, parents need love too, and so does that kid. So it's like, hey, it's a win-win. Okay, let's move on. All right, so number 3, Triss. Let's say insta love. That's what I'm thinking of. Insta love. I love when books are fast paced and you get to know everything you need to know in a short span of time, and it feels like you sat down for like 5 minutes and read the book when really it's been hours. So I love insta love, because you know who they are, you know what they want, they get what they want, and boom, bam, thank you, ma'am. It's just really fun for me. I need insta reads half the time, because those long books, ugh. If I love the book, it doesn't matter that it's long. But if I hate it and I'm still going to read through it, because sometimes I push myself to read through books even when I'm not enjoying it, it's a nightmare in that case. So insta love is amazing. Number 4, I'd say, this is a guilty pleasure of mine, don't judge me. Age gaps. I know it seems a little weird, but when they're the same age, the immaturity that happens, it seems normal, but almost abnormal at the same time, because you're like, okay, you guys are in your 20s, so of course you're going to be a little immature. There's going to be things you don't know, but at the same time, it's like they fail at common sense. So when they're around the same age, it irritates me sometimes, because they literally make these characters uncharacteristically and overly dramatic and immature. And I'm just like, okay, listen, they should know certain things. Like, you should know how to take care of yourself by now. And if you don't, then obviously go look it up, figure it out. Like, find some source of help. Because trust me, help is out there. So all you got to do is look for it. That's all I'm saying. So it irritates me when they intentionally mess up on something that either could be solved by communication or time. Either or. Like, just if you would take the time to learn about it, or if you would have communicated. If it could be fixed by 1 or 2 of these things, I am completely and utterly angry about it. I'm just like, okay, wow, you could have did this. But that's one of the reasons why I prefer age gap to the same age. Another reason is because I don't know, I value maturity more than fun. Let's just say that. I'm more mature than fun half the time. So I just kind of lean in. Of course, I'm not saying that the older character can't be immature, because that happens too, and that irritates me double. On the double, because I'm like, okay, you pushing 40 or 50 and why do you still have this mindset? What's wrong with you? But yeah, I typically love them, because usually they balance each other out. let's just say that. Their opposites attract. So that usually comes into play with the age gap thing. So I enjoy it for, you know, that reason among other reasons. Number 5, young adult. Yeah, young adult and fantasy, a mixture of that. I love, like, let's say the anti-hero. Yeah, young adult, fiction, anti-hero all rolled up into one. That's number 5. Because one, I love fantasy. I read because it makes me happy and because it's a great way to unwind and just, you know, forget about all my worries temporarily until I go back and fix them. But it's a form of escape for me. So that's why I lean into fantasy, young adult, and hero. That's what it was. Yeah. That's why I lean into those, because it's just like, I don't want it, but it was given to me. But I don't want it, but it was given to me. Like the back and forth, push, pull, like double dutch. I'm so into it. It's only annoying when they, like I said, when they're immature. It's only annoying when they make mistakes that could have been avoided. That's the only time it's annoying. But otherwise, I typically enjoy young adult fantasy and anti-hero. Those vibes in one book. Yes, give it to me now. So yeah, it's a whole thing, but we're not gonna get into that. All right, so those are my loves. Now let's talk about my hates. Well, we already talked a little bit about it, lack of communication and maturity. So let's just put a pin in that. Boop. Okay. I'm gonna go backwards this time. Okay, so number 5 of bookish icks or hates, and I hate reading about anything that involves misogyny, sexism, racism, and any form of oppression. Let's just say that. To sum it all up, I don't like reading about those. I can barely stomach sitting through movies like that. It's already in my reality, and I'm supposed to be escaping. So it's like, why? Or, you know, going through my form of release. Let's say that, because we don't completely escape. I just come back and, like you said, fix whatever I need to do to fix the problem. I fix it. But or if not, I go get help to fix it. You know, whatever works. So many options and so many more solutions when it comes to racism for me, that when sexism is also thrown into the mix, I am quadruple irritated. Let's just say that, because it's like, we are in the 21st century. Why are we still trying to oppress women? Why? Like, haven't we evolved past that? Like, it's one thing to see it in movies, in TV shows, and in real life, because we experience it in our day-to-day lives. It's another thing to read about it. Like, it's like, okay, you guys are like shoving this down our throats, and we've been rejecting it all this time and still rejected. What? Give it up. Stop. Like, no. If I hear oh, you're too delicate for this, or you shouldn't do that, you're a woman, or you're too emotional, stop it. I'm gonna scream. I'm gonna scream. I'm gonna cringe and scream at the same time. I'm gonna break something, clean it up, and then scream again. Like, no, stop. Like, quit. And let it go. Let it go. Okay? Like, there are so many layers to us women, just like there are so many layers to you men. So get over it. Stop trying to put us in a box. Let it go. Stop. No. Delete all of it. Now. All right. Now let's move on to number 4 of my icks. Ugh. God. This one book series and movie series ruined one phrase for me for all time in the known universe. And it is the 365-day series. I can never ever hear the phrase, "Are you lost, baby girl?" again in my life without cringing on the outside and inside of my body. Oh my God. I usually like, which is a problem in itself, I usually like kidnap and stalker romances in books, not in real life. That's wrong. Stop. Don't do that. But in fantasy, I usually like those, but hearing that phrase, it just rubs me the wrong way in like a million different ways, and I just don't. It just, ugh. And even worse, my sister, she tormented me for like months. She repeated that phrase, and every time I cringed and died a little on the inside. Like, why? Is this how you flirt? Like, you don't know how to say, hey, how you doing? Why couldn't you have just sweet talked her into spending the night with him, or at least having dinner with him? Why did he have to just go full-blown kidnapping? I don't understand you people. I'm at a loss for words right now. I can barely describe how much I hate that damn phrase. I hate that phrase so much that I haven't even read the books yet. I have these books in my Kindle library, paid for and all, but I have not read these books because I don't know if I can handle reading that phrase after hearing it for so long and hating it so much. I need a breather. I need a moment. I need more than a moment. I hate that phrase. Move on. Before I get upset again. Number 3. I absolutely, positively, with every fiber of my being, hate it. Hate it, 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 hate it. Cheating. Just cheating and lying. We're going to add both. Cheating and lying. Because once again, if you had the communication, you wouldn't need to do either of those things. It renders this person broken. Let's say it just completely scrambles them, and the pain and agony that it causes them is just not worth it to me. So I'm just like, why would you do that? Like, what? The main thing I want to say that I hate about this is when they use it as when they're in the love triangle, and as a way for them to pick the other person. Person A cheats, and then they go to person B, and I'm like, you could have just did the regular way, like, oh, we're not on the same level anymore. We've outgrown each other. It's time for us to move on. You couldn't have done that, or maybe, I don't know, they had to move away for a job and they don't want to do the long distance. Like, there are so many other ways to create a more sustainable and healthy and not completely piece of crap breakup. So it's like, why do they instantly go to lying and cheating? Like, what? Where's the creativity? I have been bamboozled. Like, oh my, no. Please don't do that. Please stop. Like, listen, I can stomach the lying. Let's say that. When you lie, I can stomach it. Because it's like, okay, we figured out that this is a lie. Now we know we can't trust you to tell the truth. So I'm going to have some questions, of course. But then once you add in the cheating, please help. Send help now. Right now. Send it. Because you have pushed so many buttons. And I have imagined some really, really messed up things involving you, starring you. That's all I'm going to say about that. That's it. Let's move on to number 2. I don't have time. No. Number 2. This is another one that I'm just like, what is wrong with you? Go to therapy now. Scheming best friends. Backstabbers. That's what it is. It just, when they've been best friends for all their lives, and then you find out later that one best friend B, has always been jealous of best friend A, so she does all this extra stuff like stealing her boyfriend, messing up her credit, or stealing money, or just completely creating all kinds of chaos in her life. Do not trust people. It makes me feel justified in the paranoia and the me time and all that all the things that I do because I don't trust people. It makes me feel justified in it because I'm like, what? This girl trusted you. She gave you a piece of her soul. Her soul. And you ruined it. What? No. I hate that. Best friend breakups hurt 1,000 times more than regular breakups. Did you notice that? Because I noticed that. I'm still a little sad over several of my past best friend related relationships. And half of the, let's just say, the platonic relationships that I built with these people. I'm still upset. I'm still mad over some of them. Way more than I am over majority of the romantic relationships that I had. It's like the platonic ones hold more power for some reason. And I don't understand it, and I'm not even going to try to understand it. Right now, we're going to continue to go through the healing process because I know I don't want to talk about it. I really don't. I don't want to talk about what they did because number one, I usually throw the book away on this one. Well, either throw it or slam it down. Just as long as I'm not looking at it with my eyes, because I hate overhyped books. That's a book ick for me. Overhyped books. You read articles, you read Twitter threads, and you watch all these videos on Book Talk and BookTube and whatever book trailer that is on YouTube, whatever it is. You do all this research, usually unintentionally, on these overhyped and super popular books. And then you actually sit down and read the book. And then you realize that they lied to you. It's like, I can only think of one book. One book that's in line that did this to me, that I'm still upset about, that I still hate, that I almost want to chuck that book across the line and then grab it again and set it on fire. Oh, but I'm not going to do that because that's somebody else's hard work and I don't want to damage it. So I'm just going to hate it this way. And the book that I'm talking about that was all over Book Talk, especially in BookTube, that everyone said was a wonderful thriller that you'd love to read, is Verity by Colleen Hoover. I still hate that book. That was the most underwhelming, underhanded, dumb, ridiculous book I have ever read in my life. And I've read some ridiculous books. I've read some books that just had me like, what? Why would you? This book, it's marketed as a thriller. There was 3 chapters out of like 30 chapters that were thrilling. And there was one particular part that gave me the actual thrilling / anxious feeling that they said you would get throughout the entire book. What's wrong with you? What? Why? Why did y'all do this to me? I do not trust Book Talk or BookTube anymore because of this one book. This one, as the most popular of all of Colleen Hoover, is my most hated book and will be for the rest of all eternity. I hated that ending. That ending was so anticlimactic. The beginning was okay. The beginning was a little rocky. I'm gonna be honest. It wasn't all that good. It wasn't a good beginning. And the storyline is great. It's a great storyline. It's a great plot. Those two are awesome. The delivery was crappy. That's what it was crappy. That's putting it mildly, mind you. Because I read plenty of her other books and I adore those books. But Verity, dig a hole that's like 1,000 feet deep and drop it in there and bury it. Because I need compensation. I need compensation for that book. I really do. I honestly do, because I actually spent money on that book and I'm still upset about it. It was not worth the read. We have some unfinished business, Book Talk. The biggest, fattest, juiciest no in all of eternity. No. I hate that book. I can say that with every piece of me. I hate that book. I really do. To end this video on a lighter note, I will say that my favorite book by Colleen Hoover is... No, I don't have a favorite. Let's just say an honorary mention because I'm actually not done reading yet, but I'm almost there. So far, my favorite is Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover. Maybe Someday. I very much enjoyed that book. I'm actually currently reading the series right now. The first book is my favorite so far. So yeah, we'll see. I'll tell you my all-time favorite as soon as I'm done binge reading, which is I'm halfway complete now. So yeah, stay tuned for that video. Alright guys, that's all I have for you today. We talked about we talked about my hates, we talked about my loves, I mentioned some honorary mentions, you know, we're gonna do some more, let's just say that, because I gotta do a little bit more research first before we really go into a deep dive of Colleen Hoover, because we're definitely doing that video. Prepare for the video essay, because I have some stuff to get off my chest. Alright guys, that's all I have for you today. Bye! Please return, like, comment, share, and subscribe to Busybody Headquarters 2.0, and see you next time. Mwah.